It's time for this week's episode of Brandon's Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon's Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon's Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the head field hockey coach from East Stroudsburg, Coach Sandy Miller. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great, and I'm excited to talk to you, Brandon.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in college coaching and field hockey?
Well, I tell you what, I loved athletics. You know, I grew up being the typical, perhaps, tomboy, hanging out with the boys, playing baseball, football, tag. I just had a real strong love for athletics at a young age. And then obviously it bloomed into playing high school athletics. I played at Cedar Crest High School in Lebanon, Pennsylvania. I had great coaches, loved my experience there. And obviously then I'm going to play some college sports and had a great experience there. Loved it. I thought I maybe would be a health and PE teacher in my hometown. Our athletic trainer at the time at Lockhaven, Dave Tomasi, said, you know, you could be a graduate assistant. So I went to East Stroudsburg as a graduate assistant in both field hockey and lacrosse. The head coach at the time, starting a family, resigned. I applied and was fortunate enough to get a head coaching job at East Stroudsburg University at the age of 22. And I've been here ever since.
Of course, what was it like playing college field hockey?
What a great experience. I had one of the best coaches in college, Sharon Taylor. In fact, I just visited her in her home in Sedona, Arizona 2 months ago, or a month ago, and just really very close with her. She was a big wig with AIAW and Title IX, and so that was probably my college experience was the best 4 years of my life, and it was just a wonderful experience.
What were some of your biggest college accomplishments playing field hockey?
Okay, playing field hockey. I can't say I was a 4-year letter winner in field hockey, which is always kind of a bummer because I lettered 4 years in basketball and then a year in softball and a year in lacrosse. So I ended up being an 11 letters in college. But I was starting at the end of my freshman year when we made the playoffs. Biggest accomplishments, All-American, All-Conference player. I think we were four-time Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. In the Ncaa Tournament, or I should say Ncaa Tournament my senior year and won it. In my junior year, we were in the AIAW tournament because I am a person that played in AIAW when that was huge. And I won that, or I don't say I won that, we won that, our team won that in it would have been 81. So I happen to have some cool rings, AIAW ring, NCAA ring as a player, and then NCAA ring as a collegiate coach. So I feel very fortunate. But my experience playing field hockey at Lockhaven was just wonderful. Just loved it.
What was that like, obviously, as you said, balancing 3 sports and playing 3 sports?
It was easy for me. You know, I graduated with a 3.0. If our coach, which was a rare day, would cancel field hockey practice, I was either practicing field hockey or we were running with a friend of mine, or we were playing basketball, getting ready for the next season. We live in a much different time as far as that, you know, right now, or back then we weren't watching video, we weren't hitting the weights, you know, all that stuff. So it was a different time, but, you know, it was for sure a time where I had to have some good time management, manage my time and things like that. But I just loved my 4 years at Lockhaven were the best 4 years of my life by far.
How did it feel to obviously become inducted into the Lockhaven Hall of Fame?
Wow, what a memory, what an accomplishment, it just felt so good. So going into the Lockhaven Hall of Fame was very special to me. My friends, my assistant coach came that day, and my family. So that was very memorable. I am on the Hall of Fame committee here at East Stroudsburg University, and I always wondered, what's going on at Lockhaven? You know, I had some good accomplishments. You know, I never hear anything. Well, they didn't have a Hall of Fame until maybe 3-4 years ago. Now, one thing I'll tell you, Brandon, is are my teams, my field hockey teams 81 and 82 when we won the national title. We are being inducted into the Lockhaven Hall of Fame September 17th. So really looking forward to that also.
How does that feel, obviously, as you said, being inducted as a player, but also being inducted by a team?
It's extremely special. Words really can't express what it means. Whenever I go back to Lockhaven, when we scrimmage them in preseason, usually for field hockey in the fall, it's just a really cool feeling. It's just wonderful. You feel like you accomplished a lot. It brings back memories with your teammates and the bus rides and the practices and just the fun times we all had. It's very special. I can't put the words how special it is to be inducted into your Hall of Fame. I've seen a lot of our players and our teams get inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's one of my favorite days because when they get up and talk about the memories and what it meant to them and how you inspired them, it's outstanding.
How was that feeling like when you came to East Stroudsburg to become a coach?
What was that question again?
What was that feeling like getting that coaching job at East Stroudsburg?
Oh, it was pretty cool. I remember the call like it was the other day. I happened to be in the kitchen. I think my mom answered the phone. It was Dr. Lee Roberts at the time, called and said, hey, can I talk to Sandy? And I didn't know, I was hoping it was a positive, but they, said, you're the next field hockey lacrosse coach at East Stroudsburg University. So I remember being elated, excited, all that good stuff.
Of course, when getting to East Stroudsburg, what was that like stepping into the head coaching role and obviously at running the program?
Well, I can tell you what, I'm a much different coach than I was 38, 39 years ago, but that's all a good thing. The sports evolved, you as a coach, the experience and things change. I still am a lot of what my college coaches instilled in me. I believe in that stuff, but again, it's a different day and time we live in. Back then, we were getting the VHS tapes in the mail. Now everything is YouTube or some kind of link they send us. It's a different experience, but it's just a great experience and love what I do.
When you first got started, what was it like, obviously, becoming a lacrosse coach, basketball coach, and a field hockey coach all at the same time?
I tell you what, it was crazy. And why do I say it was crazy? First off, it was a crazy from a Title IX standpoint. 1972 Title IX was passed. We were hiring full-time assistant football coaches at the time, and then they're full-time. Meanwhile, I'm not even full-time doing head hockey, head lacrosse, assistant basketball. I enjoyed my time. I loved my time, but I always fought to be full-time with that, which I eventually was. But there were days when I'd have hockey, maybe 2 to 4, lacrosse 4 to 5:30, and then basketball 6 to 8. I was in my 20s at that time. I wouldn't want to be doing that now. It just feels like field hockey. We're so busy, Katie, my assistant, and I. But it was a different time, but it was still enjoyable. I still have basketball alums that reach out to me, lacrosse coaches or former lacrosse players that I see, as well as obviously the hockey players that I see. I just ran 2 weeks of camp, and we had 2 of my players there, and at least 2 of my players there that had their daughters at camp. So that's pretty cool.
How was it like in 2001 taking over and going to the Ncaa tournament for the first time in program history?
Wow, that's always something special. We had beaten Lockhaven, I think 1-0 in the semis, and we just had lost to Lockhaven in the PSACs, I think 4-0 or 4-1. So getting our team to the finals at Bentley, against Bentley, after they had won 32 games in a row at home or something, was outstanding. I think we ended up losing to them 4-2 in the finals. But anytime you're in the finals or in the NCAA Final Four, it's an unbelievable accomplishment. I always say to my players, there are so many athletes that go through 4 years of college and never, ever get to experience an NCAA championship. And we've been fortunate enough to go, I think it's been 6 years in a row. So some of our accomplishments, and just to be thankful, and obviously we work hard and all that stuff. But anytime you're at the NCAAs, you go into the hotel, they got the banners there, they're giving you gift bags. It's special.
How is that like taking the 2009 team to the Ncaa tournament since 2001?
Again, that was very, very special. And, we've gone in 2009, 2010, and, then we've gone 6 years in a row. Anytime you take to a team to an NCAA tournament, it's special. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get there, but it's outstanding.
Of course, as you talked about going 6 years in a row, what has that 6 year streak been like?
Unbelievable. It's just, obviously it's awesome. Sitting in the team room or in the classroom, listening to the NCAA bid being announced, and you're pretty sure you're going, but are you definitely going? Are you hosting? Are you going somewhere? Are you getting the bye? It's unbelievably exciting for the coaches, the athletes, the school. So it's always a blessing, but there's a lot of hard work and effort, and you got to play a great schedule and have that strength of schedule and all that stuff. So it's outstanding.
How was it in 2015 going to that Ncaa tournament for the first time as a head coach?
I was in the NCAA tournament before, like we said, in 2001, we were in the finals, but going in 2015, right down the road at Bloomsburg and winning it there, words don't describe the feeling of winning an NCAA championship. You're just so proud of your players, your coaches. You're shedding tears in the finals, whether you win or lose. It's just an awe-inspiring experience.
Can you talk about, of course, the championship culture that you've built for East Stroudsburg?
Yeah, so that's real important. I want to give kudos to my assistant coach, Katie Ward, who happens to be here. So Katie, come over and say hi quickly. She's a lot of the reason for our success. There she is, Coach
Hi.
Katie Ward, Brandon.
Nice to meet you.
But we
Thanks,
built it.
Sandy.
Yeah, you got it. We built a championship culture together. Katie was a 4-year player for me, a 2-time All-American. As soon as our former assistant coach told me she was getting another job leaving, I wanted to hire Katie right away. So we were fortunate enough in 2015, I think it was, to get a full-time assistant coach. So obviously that makes a huge difference, but building a championship culture is not easy. You're recruiting the right players, the players that can play for you. Obviously the family, meeting the parents and all that stuff is important, but instilling your values in your players. I always say to recruits when we're talking to them, the press we're doing, the drills we're working on, the offense we're running, the formation we're doing is working because we're successful. Are we ever just going to sit on our laurels? No, we're going to always try to get better, but what we're doing is working. But a lot of it is recruiting the right people, surrounding yourself with the people that have your beliefs, philosophies, work ethic, and all those important things.
Who are some of the teams that you faced each week in your conference?
Boy, we play in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, one of the strongest conferences in Division II, in field hockey for sure. We're playing teams like Bloomsburg, Kutztown, Millersville, Shippensburg, Slippery Rock, IUP, Westchester, Slippery, all those schools. There's 11 of us that play in the PSAC Division II. Lockhaven is a school that is Division I right now, but we're always in for dogfight anytime we're playing any of our conference opponents.
What's that like, obviously, going to Bloomsburg and Shiphaven and playing them?
So going to Bloomsburg is always tough. Not as tough as they have when Jan Hutchinson was the head coach, but it's always fun going to Bloomsburg. They're one of our biggest rivals. And then you said Shippensburg? Yeah, Shippensburg, that's fun. We're always, in again for a dogfight playing Shippensburg. The Shippensburg, the Kutztowns, the Westchester, the Millersvilles, those are the top teams right now. Kutztown, all those schools. But anytime you're playing other schools, the IUP, Mansfield, Slippery Rock, they're coming to beat you, and you kind of have an arrow on your back when you're so successful. But we're ready to go anytime we're playing anyone, but especially a conference opponent. We got to bring it all.
How's a typical game day look like at home?
Well, I was saying to Katie about that question, but a typical game day, fairly easy because all the work is done prior. So we're coming into the office, maybe we're watching a little bit of video, making sure the scouting report that we gave the day before is accurate and nothing's changed. We're kind of just checking things. The nerves are in the belly, so to speak, the butterflies and things. So game day, the work's done before game day, but you're still a little nervous. You're tying up some loose ends, you're ready to go. And then the game starts and it's exciting.
What does the recruitment process look like for those prospective student athletes looking to play college field hockey?
It looks good. And if you're a good player, we're interested in you, but we also want good students. Also, our team GPA is usually a 3.6, 3.7. Obviously that's out of a 4.0. We want young ladies that are coachable, that are hard working, that are dynamic, that have special skills, and that believe in the Division II philosophy and love East Stroudsburg University. So there are a lot of players that can't play for us, unfortunately, or fortunately, because we can't carry tons, but there's a lot of strong players that can play for us, and those are the ones we're working hard trying to get. We have a lot of players from the United States this year, besides bringing in a lot of Americans, New Jersey, New York, obviously Pennsylvania student athletes. We have 2 coming in from Belgium, 3 coming in from the Netherlands, 1 coming in from Germany. We also have a Dutch, a Netherlands player on the team already, and a Swedish player. We graduated a player from the Netherlands and a player from Australia. So those international players help to make us, a strong program.
Of course, as head coach, what are some of the things that you look at in those players, whether they're international players or domestic players?
Obviously, we want to recruit. One of our philosophies is recruit good students, good athletes, good people. That's number one. And then, how are your grades? And then obviously, can you play for us? Or do you have that wow? Are you dynamic? Do you have that never say die attitude? Do you have good fundamentals? Are you willing to learn? So if you have those things, we're looking at you.
Of course, on the official visit, what does the official visit look like for those prospective student athletes coming to East Stroudsburg?
I tell you what, we don't do as many official visits. A lot of times we do unofficial visits where the player comes up for the day. We chat with them. We give them a recruiting presentation. We have one of our current players give them a tour and lunch. We have not flown in anyone from California or whatever. Our official visits are, we'll pay some gas money for you. With the COVID, we really haven't been having players staying over in the dorms, but that's something that I think is going to change pretty soon. So we're doing a lot of unofficial visits, but we will do official visits, and we'll probably do more in the future once the COVID thing is in a rear view mirror, so to speak.
As head coach, what is it like getting to see those players put on that East Stroudsburg jersey and fall in love with the school?
It's outstanding. I was saying to Katie, boy, we have some good freshmen coming in, and it's real exciting to see them on the field the first day, putting them through the drills. You recruited this player, you thought they were pretty good, and then they show their skills. We're scrimmaging and they're getting it done. And then once they put the uniform on for the first time and we have our first scrimmage going, it's special. It's special. Our gear is pretty outstanding. So the players coming in just love putting on their ESU hockey t-shirts, their shorts, their nice Under Armour uniforms. It's very special. I love to see it. Picture day is pretty cool. They're wearing their stuff and hanging out with their classes and this and that. So it's pretty neat. It's really special to the players.
What are some of your future plans for the program?
Continue to be competitive, continue to be competitive on the field and in the classroom. We have a mission statement. Katie, I might need your help with that, but we always want to excel academically. We want to, compete nationally, and we want to represent with integrity. So those are things we want to do every single day. We want to get, this year we made the Final Four. I don't want to say only got to the Final Four because there's tons of teams that didn't get there, but we want to get to the finals more often. We want to be more competitive. We want to be playing in our conference finals. We just want to keep ESU, when people talk about top Division II teams and teams that do it the right way, we want East Stroudsburg University in the discussion.
Of course, what advice would you give those prospective student athletes looking to play college field hockey?
Work hard. Don't take anything for granted. Do your homework. Go to that school and watch the team play. Watch that coach. Make sure that school has your major. You're just not going there for field hockey. So a lot of things like that, go into the work so they're making a good decision. Know that just because you're getting a $20,000 scholarship at a school that costs 50, 60,000, doesn't mean as much if you're going to school that maybe costs 25,000 and you're getting a $5,000 scholarship. So do the math, make smart decisions, and take your time, things like that.
What advice would you give those people that are in college that are looking to play professionally and represent the national team?
Well, that's awesome. We have yet to have a national team player. That's really tough. That's more Division I's doing that. Would love to see that. Love to see more of that. Playing internationally, or professionally. That's a possibility in the Netherlands and Germany, Argentina, some of those other countries for sure. It hasn't happened here yet. I'm fortunate enough to see that we just had a softball player playing internationally, professionally. We have some baseball players that do that, some basketball players, but hockey, you don't see it as much. But hopefully one of these days we're going to see it. We're going to see an ESU player, playing Netherlands professionally and things like that. We've had people talk about it. One of my former goalkeepers was going to maybe play professionally, and then COVID hit and didn't happen. But love to see it happen. Looking forward to having the Stroudburg University student athlete represent us.
What advice would you give college coaches looking to get started in the industry, whether they're assistant coaches or looking to become head coaches?
Well, I want to make sure, really important to make sure you love the sport. You love working with student athletes. You have a huge time commitment because it's not a 8 to 4 job by any means. During the season, we're in at 10. When we're home at 8 o'clock, we're not just relaxing. We're watching video. Who do we play next? We got to get ready for them. So it's a time commitment. You have some off time during the summer. We just wrapped up 2 weeks of camp where we had 131 players and 177 players. That 2 days ago, we were wrapping up camp. We got an ID clinic coming up. So there's obviously a time commitment. I would also want to advise, get a mentor, find someone that can mentor you. I think that's real important. Our National Field Hockey Coaches Association is doing a good job with that. That's important. So mentorship is important also.
What advice would you give those that are looking to become head coaches like you?
A lot of the same things. Get out there and beat the bushes, work the summer camp at UNC, try to work the ESU summer camps, talk to coaches, meet coaches, watch them, and then figure out, yeah, that's for me, or no, that time commitment, that stress and pressure, which there is. Anytime we're playing a game, I'm not sleeping as well the night before because it's huge for us. And usually I don't have any reason not to sleep, because we're pretty successful, but still you get a little nervous. Do we do this right? Do we finish everything up? Are we prepared? And we are, but it's nervous. It's excitement. You get the butterflies. I'm no longer, carrying a stick on the sideline, but it's still a little nerve wracking and just a lot of fun. Then you have 3-4-0 and you relax a little bit. Right. But it's a great job. I love it. There's not a day I don't come into work. Just looking forward to working here. I truly love coaching field hockey at East Stroudsburg University.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with East Stroudsburg Field Hockey Program at?
Well, we are, Katie, I guess you should answer that one.
You got to ask again, something about where you can find us.
Mm-hmm.
She's the computer, the Instagram girl.
Yeah. So obviously ESU Warriors on that website is like our main homepage, but then our biggest presence is on Instagram at ESU Field Hockey, which is also linked to our ESU Field Hockey fan page on Facebook.
Thank you again, Coach Sandy Miller, for your interview, and best of luck in your future at East Stroudsburg as the head field hockey coach.
Thank you, Brandon, for chatting with me. I really appreciate that. Wish you the best also, and really enjoyed chatting with you today.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Sandy Miller, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Same to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free